underlining our founding values, the Italian and the American national anthems will be played. And I have the pleasure this year of introducing tenor Marco Fiorante, who will sing both national anthems. In 2012, Marco Fiorante completed his studies in opera and drama at the Tito Schipa Conservatory of Music in Lecce, Italy, with top marks. He has performed at several Italian and international events, and is going on with his studies in the United States to maintain his proficiency in voice and opera. Please join us in welcoming him with a warm round of applause. the Defense and Defense Cooperation Attaché at the Embassy of Italy.
Your Excellency, Claudio Bisogniero, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege and a great honor for me and my colleagues Attaché and all military office, of which I'm very proud, to welcome you all here in our beautiful Italian embassy to celebrate with us the Italian unity and the Armed Forces Day. This past year has been particularly intense, full of activities, and we also saw the world becoming less stable and very worrisome action took place on our beautiful planet. These very real and terrible facts underlines strongly how important is the need to have a cohesive and balanced international community with sound, well-trained and well-equipped armed forces. We are here to celebrate the men and women in uniform of Italy that serve to safeguard those values and traditions that represent our culture and allow us to protect our future. This event, historically, we celebrate the end of World War I, honoring the courage and the valor of the men who sacrificed their lives to enable our country to evolve in a positive, free and democratic manner. 2014 represents also the 100th anniversary from that 28 July 1914, marking the beginning of a terrible and vast conflict that eventually took more than 9,700,000 lives, of which 665,000 Italian and 116,000 Americans. We will never forget. For us, 2014 marked also another very important anniversary, and that is the 200th birthday of the Carabinieri, that in Cagliari, Sardinia, on 13 July 1814, saw their brilliant star. Today, the Carabinieri are the fourth services of the Italian Armed Forces, and also a terribly important gendarmerie dealing with law enforcement. Auguri to our Carabinieri. But we don't want to limit ourselves to celebrate only the past. As a matter of fact, today, Italy has thousands of soldiers, sailors, and airmen and carabinieri deployed around the world, serving our country to bring security and stability in our troubled planet. A great part of them are in Lebanon, where we lead UNIFIL, in Kosovo, where we lead KFOR, Somalia, Middle East and Afghanistan, serving and working alongside colleagues from the United States and many other allied countries represented here today. As you know, Mr. Derek Chollet is the Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs. He is the principal advisor to the Undersecretary of Defense and the Secretary of Defense on international security strategy and policy issues related to the nations and international organization of Europe, including NATO, the Middle East, and Africa, their governments and defense establishments. And so, without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you Mr. Derek Chollet.
Italy is host to nearly 30,000 U.S. military personnel, uniform and civilians, and their dependents. And the U.S. bases in Italy, which are some of the most important bases we have in the world, are absolutely critical to addressing the security threats we face, shared threats we face in the Mediterranean and North Africa and beyond. Second, our defense cooperation on capabilities is extraordinarily important both to the United States and Italy. I want to compliment Italy's significant investments, particularly at a time of tough budgets, both here in the United States and around the world. Italy has made significant defense investments in improving its capabilities. That includes capabilities like the KC-767 tanker that is currently flying in the skies right now over Iraq as part of the broader coalition to help refuel Allied planes. I would also note Italy's very significant and important investment in the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. That's an over $3 billion investment. And the United States looks forward to someday flying alongside Italian pilots in that significant capability. And third, the U.S. and Italy are global partners. We work together on the toughest issues, whether that involves NATO, which of course we are both founding members of NATO, and the focus that NATO must maintain on threats from the south as well as the east, to the work we do together in Afghanistan, where Italy has lost over 50 lives sacrificing as part of the ISAF coalition in Afghanistan, to Libya, to Kosovo, to Lebanon, to Somalia, to the counter-piracy mission, to the ISIL coalition. Italy is there standing side by side by the United States and our other partners, and we thank you for that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure and honor that I'm leaving the floor for his address to the Ambassador of Italy in the United States of America, His Excellency Ambassador Claudio Bisogniero.
November 4th, today, is the day when Italians celebrate the end and the victory in that war, in that tragic conflict. But this date is not only about the past, it is also about the present, it is also about the future. A few days ago, commemorating the centenary of World War I, Secretary of State Kerry rightly pointed out the common past that bonds Europe and the United States, but also the vision shared on both sides of the Atlantic of a peaceful, united and free Europe, and the commitment made both by Americans and by Europeans to working together to promote peace, stability and democracy by addressing global crises, expanding world trade, strengthening the transatlantic cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very warm grazie for being with us today. Each and every one of you represents an essential building block on those solid US-Italy relations. Viva l'Italia e vivi gli Stati Uniti d'America.